We are back with another market update, and things are looking great. Even though prices have declined and retraced since the pump back on the 17th on the rate cut day, we have seen a decline on prices on on-chain and centralized exchanges outside of a couple of coins. If you guys are constantly following the crypto market, you guys would know Stable launched a couple days ago, and it has returned about a 300% move towards the upside from the dip. And then we have Aster doing something similar right there. We can take a look at that pump for 150%. So we've got two coins, mainly one around the perp exchange, talking about the next hyperliquid. And then we have a stable coin narrative here, a coin launched by the co-founder of Tether himself. So even though the market as a whole has been taking a little bit of a dump and a retrace, we do have outliers like Stable and Aster showing that the market does have money to pump into this market to push things up. And these aren't small coins. They're pretty large cap coins. This one worth about 2 billion and this one worth about 700. No, it's more like 200 million. So I do think we still have a lot of money left to see come into this market at some point. And that'll usually happen when Bitcoin dominance falls towards the downside, which is why I have been focusing so heavily on Bitcoin dominance. Currently, we're sitting at 57, 58%. And the last time, if we take a look at the last time we were at this stage, we got a huge retrace towards the upside before the eventual true alt season that came that took us all the way down very, very rapidly. I want you guys to notice that this only took a couple of months. This took about 5 months to happen. And that's around the time I think we have left around this market. So if we happen to get a big pump like this, I don't think it's going to happen anymore because time is sensitive. That might mean alt season might get delayed. And I don't really like to see that because I do think we're going to top around the January time. So what I'd rather see come out of this Bitcoin dominance is we get a small retrace, maybe to 59, 60%, but I don't want to see something like this take place. Instead, I want to see us have this aggressive dump towards the downside in the coming months. And I do think we're set up for that. One thing I want you guys to look at over here is look at the dominance on September 20th right there. And I want you to take a look at Litecoin. Because on this date, we had a nice move towards the upside, right? But let's see what Litecoin did. And you guys know I'm bullish on Litecoin, but let's go to September 20th. September 20th, right there. You can see shortly after that pump on Bitcoin dominance, what did Litecoin do? It absolutely took off towards the upside. And this only took about 200 days. Yes, a little bit longer than I think we have time in this market, but that doesn't matter. Let's take that down a little bit and say, okay, we're only going to pump for 140 days. 140 days still took us up 500% to $250 mark, which is great to see. And that was pretty much near the end of the cycle. We had another, I think 50 to 100, about 60% move towards the upside as an extra from what I'm expecting, because as you guys know, I'm expecting this bull market to end around the January timeline. So if we take a look at January, how far away are we from January right now? Let's say end of January, be a little bit generous. If we just go ahead and measure that, that's only 120 days. So we have 120 days to put in a massive move towards the upside to that $1,000 mark, which kind of seems a bit hard to see right now, right? But these things can happen extremely fast. If we just take a look at this move right here, that was 700 move, took only 60 days. So these moves don't have to take a lot of time. They can happen extremely fast. And once we do put in a move like this, I expect us to go down towards that 45 to 43% area. These lines here, I think we're going to get a little bit of a bounce, if any, when we get down here. But I do think we're going to get that money spilling over to all kinds of coins. Coins that you've never heard of are going to pump incredibly high. We also have AI coins, the sector trying to make a move up. We got that retrace. We tried. But the good thing is, the more times you tap on this resistance, the weaker it gets, which means the breakout is imminent. We take a look at meme coins. I think meme coins put in a nice candle. Look at that break. Good structure that's showing us that we're setting up to go higher. Something I really wanted to see. So this is another good structure right there. We got the break. We didn't get the breakdown, which is great. We filled up the pattern, broke up, and now the market is saying, hey, we've got money interested. We're just waiting for the liquidity to follow, which I think will take place in the months of October and November. And let's take a look at DeFi. I'm pretty sure DeFi is doing the same thing. The market moves in waves as a whole. So I'm pretty sure nothing will be left behind, and DeFi will have something similar. So if we just take a look at the weekly, you can see that, yes, we do have a break of this pattern showing us higher, and the structures are pretty similar. The only thing lagging right now, I'd say, is AI, because AI doesn't have a break yet, but it won't take much to break it. And if we happen to follow this triangle pattern right here, I would say the break is coming in the next week and a half. So once that cracks up to the upside, 66 billion, which is why I'm very bullish on the virtuals ecosystem, I do think we're going to get a pump higher and higher. Others dominance is also tapping on resistance, I believe. So we'll take a look at others dominance, and we are tapping on resistance. I really want to see a break towards the upside. Otherwise, this could simply roll down, and everything else could take a little bit longer to materialize and push up. Others, which is everything excluding the top 10, is showing us that we are still tapping on resistance and trying to move towards the upside. a little bit slow, not really looking like strength. Instead, we are waiting for a definite break to target that 450 billion market cap and hopefully actually head towards the upside. Now, you guys have seen these lines, these depict bottoms and tops, and I still think we have some time until we get to that top mark, which is going to be about 1 trillion on the other side. So that's going to be psychological resistance. Why? Because money usually tends to tap psychological resistance to create future resistance and support. An example of this would be simply going towards, I think it's that total 3 chart. Let's take a look at total 3. I might be wrong. It might be total 2. Okay, so right there, you can see we tapped 1.13 trillion, a little bit higher than a trillion, but not by much. And you can see once we tapped a trillion, what happened? We actually pushed down. Actually, over there, you can see we tapped 964, pushed down, and then pushed up once again. So you guys can see why I'm highlighting 1 trillion as psychological resistance. I do think that's going to be a major important area for the altcoins, although we might get another pump like this on the alt. So that's something to watch out for. But for the most part, I think targeting that psychological resistance on others, which I don't think a lot of people are watching out for. And I'm glad that my channel is small enough to share this, because otherwise I probably wouldn't share it, as I don't want things to get mainstream and push this idea to become popular, because then something different will likely happen. Because remember, the herd is rarely right. The market will go in the opposite direction of what most people believe. So yeah, we are targeting that 1 trillion area, which is a huge move for alts. All these coins were trading sub 100 million. They don't need much money to move. They need a couple $1 million. And there's about $700 billion to be injected in the alts, which is a ton of money. So we just have to wait and see when that happens. As for now, you guys know the coins I've been talking about on my channel, mostly virtuals focused. We've got some ICM coins, we've got some memes. We have our fingers dipped in each sector to make sure we take advantage of the whole pie. But as for now, it's a waiting game, guys. We're waiting until October comes around and we get towards the end of the year to make sure we get our profits, cash out, and then we'll see what happens. But as for now, that is it. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. I will see you guys again next week, where hopefully we get some movement to the upside, as we're anticipating the whole market's going to push up. So good luck out there, and I'll see you guys next time.